It is August 14th, 2020 at 10 p.m. Central Standard Time, so says my watch, and we're doing a live stream. I'm glad you guys are here, and stay tuned. We got a lot to talk about this time, so see you in a minute. Hello, everyone. So, we're here. We're doing it. We're live. Woohoo! So, I know that some of you who might be tuning in are kind of confused. Let me just put this out here right now. Going, are you doing a live stream or are you not doing a live stream? I've had some messages through Facebook and through YouTube and all that kind of stuff about which one is it. Are you doing a YouTube or are you doing a live stream? Are you doing the Zoom thing? What are you doing? So you know, if you're watching this now or you're watching this in the future, the days are alternating or the weeks are alternating. So we're going to be doing like the Zoom meetings every other Friday, and then every other Friday we'll be doing the YouTube live streams. That way we can balance it out. We can get some time where I can kind of address things that I want to talk about, just solely platform, you know, radio broadcaster style, and then the other week is kind of like when we all just kind of hang out and jam. So still haven't found a solution to uploading those. It would make, I think, a lot more sense to a lot more people if I could feel comfortable uploading the Zoom meetings as a video, so that way you guys go, oh, okay, that's what happened last week. But I haven't done that yet. Don't know if I'm going to do that yet, and so this is what we've got. Here's what we're working on. Yeah, okay. I'm seeing I'm seeing black screen. I'm okay. It looks like everybody else is okay. Okay. That might be a you thing. Hopefully everybody can see me and hear me okay. Good. So I hope I got that out of the way. There will always be announcements on the YouTube community page and the Facebook Magic Minute fan page every Friday. Those announcements will go up. So if you're not subscribed to the channel yet with the bell icon, do that, because it'll alert you whenever I put out a message about where I'm going to be. I always do that, and so that's a good thing to do. If you haven't subscribed and hit the bell icon, definitely do that. That way you know where I'm at, what I'm doing. If you want to catch the live stream or the Zoom call, you know where to get all the deets for that every single week. Oh, speaking of which, also, yeah, the Zoom details for logging in and all that kind of stuff is also shared on the YouTube community page. Always leave that there, so you have all the information you need to join in. So, let's talk about a couple things. The big thing is something I'm really excited about, and I'm going to pull this up after I get a couple of delicious sips of my 99-cent energy drink. And I want to pull this up. I have to do this in a way that's going to make sense. And I'm trying to do as quickly as possible here. Let's see. New source instead. Image. Add source. Browse. I'm finding something. I realized I wanted to share this and hadn't shared it yet. Okay. Done. Boom. Okay. So this is something cool that I'm doing. If you guys are wondering what I'm doing to try to keep my business going and to try to keep relevant in the industry and not just sitting here wallowing in self-pity, I realize that I have a unique skill that a lot of people don't have. Being a YouTuber and doing this kind of stuff for a while, you know, you get all the pretty lights and the sound and the visuals and everything, and it all should look beautiful and sound beautiful. A lot of people in my industry do not know how to do this. Big surprise, nobody's an expert when they didn't know they were going to have to be an expert in this kind of stuff, and that the whole world was going to move to Zoom meetings. So I got with the past president of MPI. It stands for Meeting Professionals International, or Meeting Planners International. And it's a professional organization that I belong to that helps me reach corporate event planners, which, if you guys know anything about the type of work that I do, I'm a corporate magician and entertainer. MPI is one of a number of different organizations that's good to be a part of, to be able to network with people that can hire you for events. So I'm going to be giving a talk over Zoom for them on the 19th, just coming up in a couple of days. and I'm going to be sharing with them how to do this kind of stuff, because these people, these friends of mine who are in this industry, who are all suffering as well, they're either job hunting and doing interviews over Zoom calls, or they are meeting with clients, or they are having meetings internally inside of their own company, and it's all looking like hot garbage, and it's not presenting a very professional image. And so I went, I can help fix this. Hey, excuse me, best buddy, old pal, who puts on the MPI Zoom meetings every week. I have an idea that I'd like to share with everybody. And they went, oh, cool. Let's go ahead and put you on there. Can you do the 19th? And I said, absolutely. So I'm going there. I'm going to be talking to everybody, sharing about 45 minutes worth of information on how to make themselves look and sound as good as possible on their Zoom meetings. And of course, this is helpful to me for a couple of other reasons. One, it puts me out in front of a lot of people with some useful information. Hopefully I'll help them out, so they'll remember me. That's the hope. The other thing is that, this is kind of, I might be pivoting this into another kind of little side business or something for a little while, doing some consulting on this, helping people to actually do, set up their stuff, if they have questions and whatever, trying to help them get to, a decent level of quality. So that's what I'm doing right now. That's what I'm doing to keep me busy and to hopefully, get me busy into the future. So, looking down here, I'm seeing my name being messaged a couple of times or something. Venom, I used to drink 10 of those a day. Had to kick the bad habit to the curb. Yeah, well, they're only 99 cents. Justin's here and just in time. Yeah, I'm glad everything worked smoothly, because I'm seeing the message about Streamlabs and OBS. Yes, I found out about 30 minutes ago that there was an update to OBS, or to Streamlabs OBS, and I didn't know about it, and I was like, oh god, I hate updating stuff right before a stream, because guess what happens? Something usually gets broken, and then it's hunting around for how to reset a setting or reconnect a piece of hardware or something. But thankfully, everything just went over just fine, and it ain't no big deal. So, boop, there's that. Hey, Justin, don't ever catch me midstream. Yeah, so that's what I'm working on. Hopefully it's gonna be good. You know what I'm hoping now, because I'm digging pretty deep into the Zoom stuff here, is I'm hoping that there will be a way in the near future to natively support a cross linkage between Streamlabs OBS and Zoom, because I think that would be a marriage made in heaven. To be able to have these kinds of little graphics on screen, or be able to easily share different pieces of media and control your scenes and all that kind of stuff, and have that go out to Zoom. I mean, you could get a hell of a production going. And I wish that it was a thing. I wish that it was a thing. And hopefully it will be. Apparently it's something that they were working on as of 4 months ago. So who knows when it's going to show up. But if we're going to be in this quarantine for any number of more days, I got to imagine that that feature will come out at some point. I'm getting a message from AMS Magician. How do you prevent buying too much magic? Because whenever I see an ad I want to buy, and I have so much stuff that I already have that I haven't even practiced, so how can I limit that? AMS, that's a great question. Thank you for asking. Put down the debit card. That's what you can do. Yeah. So here's what you can do. I call that flavor of the month syndrome. Flavor of the month syndrome. Really, and it's bad. It's gonna be bad for me if I ever want to get a sponsor or something in the future. But here's the truth of it. You probably already know enough magic to have an entire career. That's the surprising part, right? Is that if you've been in magic 6 months to a year, No, I'll give it a little bit longer. Let's call it 18 months to 24 months. If you've been in Magic for about that long, you probably already have enough material or know enough Magic. Maybe not performing it, but probably already know and have been exposed to enough Magic that you can build a show that could last you the rest of your career. So, why do we keep buying Magic? Here's why. We're addicted to secrets. Magicians love secrets. Human beings love mysteries, and secrets to magic tricks are pretty big mysteries, right? So we're fine-tuned as human beings to want to discover that secret. And if it's just behind a paywall, it's like, oh, well, here's my money, and now I know the thing, right? Now I can have that mystery solved, and my brain can stop hurting. And there's a dopamine release that happens whenever you do that. Whenever you get that, oh, okay, I understand how it works now. But don't buy Magic because you want to know how it's done. Buy Magic because it fills a place in your show. And that's what I do. I do not buy Magic just because I want to know how it's done. I buy Magic because it fills a certain specific hole in my show that I have. Right? If I go, oh man, you know what? This effect right here, it really isn't working. Go with the intention that you know exactly what you're looking for, and you'll know it when you find it. Not, oh, this looks neat. I could probably fit that into my show somehow. Go, no, I'm looking for a Venom glass, or what do they call it? Is it I forget the name of it. But let's say I'm trying to, my effect that I want is specifically a Venom energy drink being poured into a solo cup, and the solo cup floating in midair. Right? There's a lot of versions of this trick where you have, champagne flutes and wine bottles and Coca-Cola cans and all these things. But let's say you're looking specifically for a Venom energy drink, Black Mamba Venom energy drink that pours it into a red solo cup, right? And it fulfills the requirements that you have for it can be performed close up. It can be performed with borrowed objects. It can be performed with that, right? And so the more selective you are about what criteria the magic effect has to have to fill that place in your show, and a good reason that it belongs in your show, then you only buy magic that you really need. So airborne is the effect. Thank you, Lane. Yes, that is the correct one. So that is the thing. That is how you do the thing. That's how you stop buying magic that you don't need. Recognize that you probably don't need it, and then go. Don't buy magic from the idea that you will figure out a place to put it in your show, but buy magic to fill out your show and know where it belongs in your show before you buy it. I'm not sponsored by Venom, but if Venom wants to sponsor me, I really like Venom energy drinks. Of course there are health risks that you have to be aware of whenever consuming a highly caffeinated beverage like this. But once a week, in moderation, not too bad. Right before a live stream at 10 o'clock at night, not too bad. I'm going to be up for several hours still. Probably okay. Not a doctor, but yeah. I don't know if I answered your question well enough, AMS, but hopefully that's got your answer there. Hopefully that helps you. So I don't buy flavor of the month stuff, right? Another thing is, it's this look at magic. Also, you could look at it the same way that you look before you buy a new cell phone or a new laptop or a new piece of technology. Wait about 2 or 3 months and let all the reviews come in. And even if you go, oh, it does fit a perfect place in my show, sleep on it. Let other people who are the early adopters figure out all the things that are wrong with it before you buy it. There's always going to be somebody else who's going to buy the thing and leave their review and tell you it's great or it's awesome or it's terrible. Wait for them. Wait for people to rip it a new one. And then consider whether or not you're going to buy it. So I hope that helps. And I love answering these kind of questions. This is what I'm all about. This is how I'm here to help you guys. So chances are I've been there, done that. If you guys have those kind of questions, don't feel dumb asking them. It's why we're here. So thank you for the question, AMS. I hope I helped. Lane says, I have, and the kind that is not magnetic. Is the magnetic version any better? The magnetic version is different. It's exactly like you'd expect, right? The original version is done with a hook, and the magnetic version is not. You could argue that the magnetic version makes more noise, but it's more surefire, that you're going to get it right away. But I could say, you're going to, if you practice it well enough, you're not going to have any problem with the original method. I don't know. What do you need? What if it's a hole in your show? I feel like a lot of the times it's just like technology. It's planned obsolescence. It's like, well, what can we put out this time but leave ourselves enough room that we can improve it in the future, or change it enough in the future that people are I need to see a real serious improvement, right? The thumb tip is like the shark of magic, right? It was born perfect and it's never changed. Oftentimes there really is no real benefit, right? I've seen about 1,000 different versions of the Rising card, right? Or Torn and Restored card. This is one that gets me. This is my on Magic, is that every year somebody's going to release a Torn and Restored card, and they're going to promise that it's the best Torn and Restored card. It's the most unique version. It's the most angle-proof version. It's the easiest to perform. It's the blah, 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 blah. I am... Okay. We don't need any more Torn and Restored cards. I think we can definitively say you never need another Torn and Restored card. You know what the perfect one is? I'll tell you what the perfect one is. The perfect one is Daniel Garcia's Torn. It's the perfect version. It's the perfect Torn. It is Torn and Restored perfected. It is the best version. For me. Again, this is for, this is why we have, some person's going to say the best band ever was the Beatles, and someone's going to say it's the Rolling Stones, right? Right? Sure, they both have their merits, both are good, but you're going to prefer one over the other, right? So there are reasons that, the perfect version for me is not going to be may not be the perfect version for you. But I think, I can pretty strongly say I can't think of anything that really does it better. Here's if I will never buy another Torn and Restored card. I will never buy another Torn and Restored card unless this Torn and Restored card is signed on both sides by the audience, torn by the audience, and then in the audience's hands without you ever touching it. He completely heals with the signatures on both sides of the card. If that ever comes out, shut up and take my money. I will buy that. But that's what I mean by going back to, what is how can I stop spending money on tricks, right? I see, Illusionists put out a new one with the new guy who, where the pieces are put together back together off center, which is, an impossible object thing or whatever. Yeah, that's cool, that's cute and everything. But every year a new one comes out. There was one that came out from Blue Crown a couple years ago. I think it was Ruben something put that out. And then there was Wayne Houchin's version and you can get caught up on all these different versions. What's his face? Mikael Shetlain, I think is how you pronounce his name, came out with a version that David Stone popularized. That looks, perfect because the pieces are actually 4 pieces, and and it's beautiful. And I have it because I know David personally. Him and I friends, no, but I know him personally, and I've spent many hours with him. And if you guys want to hear a funny story about hanging out with David Stone, leave me a comment in the comments section, and I'll relay that fun story. Nearly made the guy pass out. But yeah, I don't need another Tournament of Star card. I found Danny Garcia's. It's perfect for me, and I don't need anything else. Fits all, ticks all my boxes. So until you get a version that's that perfect, as I described earlier, this fantasy version, I can just basically ignore any other Tournament of Star card. There's nothing, I don't need anything else. So that's my answer there. Let's see. I'm gonna go back through your list. Yes, this is a good one. Yeah, AMS Magician also asks, any tips on nerves? I have always been shy, and I find that a few people is fine, but I always gotten nervous in front of a crowd. Guess what? Me too. It may surprise you to know that as a kid, I was painfully shy. Painfully shy. I was socially awkward. I had a very difficult time talking to people, or I'd be like, okay, it's fine if I have like 2 people here, but now 10 or 15 or 20 people are circling around me. Holy crap! You're not gonna like my answer, but what makes it scary go away a little bit, or at least makes it more manageable, maybe not go away, but makes it more manageable, is doing it a lot. Just doing it, putting yourself in that position a lot. And it'll take the edge off of it. And then if you can, it's going to sound crazy and it's going to sound new agey, but what I do now is I perceive that as energy. I perceive my nervousness as energy that I'm being given. And then I transform that into output. So instead of shrinking into myself with all of that nervousness, I reflect it. And I take all of that and I push it back out as energy back towards the audience to make my show better and larger and to amplify. That's the word I'm looking for, to amplify myself. It requires you to step out of your comfort zone. You're gonna feel really crazy, but it's like a roller coaster ride, man. You just go, I'm gonna hold on and I'm just gonna go for it. But it turns out that it does make you a more just energetic performer. And guess what? People like energy and they respond to energy. So you're probably okay. It's uncomfortable a lot at first, but I say roll with it. And I mean, what's the worst that happens? That's always the thing for me. Is I always ruled my life with the question, will I regret this more later if I don't do it or if I did it? In fact, this is how I decided to go ahead and, don't want to, gross you all out or anything, but this is how I decided to kiss my wife for the first time. We were talking and whatever and courting or whatever, and I thought it was like 11 o'clock at her friend's house or something. We were visiting and hanging out there or whatever, and I really liked her and I wanted to try to kiss her, and I was going, oh gosh, do I do this? Do I not? Right? It's 11 o'clock at night. I don't want to get kicked out. I'm in Dallas right now. If I get kicked out right now, it's going to be painfully awkward for me, and it's going to be a long, scary drive home, and it's going to be very embarrassing. But would I rather do it and then find out what I'm already worried about is going to come true, that's the worst that can happen, or do I dare try and maybe something amazing happens, right? Maybe the fear is only living inside me and everything's okay, which is more likely the scenario, right? And so I went, screw it. I don't want to miss out on my opportunity to kiss this woman that I'm really crazy about and let her know how I feel early enough on that she gets the hint that I'm interested in her in that way. So I went, screw it, I'll do it. So I did. And no regrets, man. No regrets. now we're married. We've been together 10 years and have 2 beautiful children. So it was like, sometimes you just got to grab that brass ring and just go for it. I don't know how to. It's crazy, but that's what I do. Sorry for the story time, but you know, yeah, that's I don't. That's kind of new agey, but what's the deal with the Coke colors? I like Coca-Cola, and I like Venom energy drinks, which also have a red and white theme. Why did I choose red and white theme? Because I thought it was visually striking. It was a simplified aesthetic, and it was something that people were used to seeing, and it would be easy to associate with. When I decided to do all of that, it was just because it was like psychologically, it was easy to recall, and iconic, and clear, and it was really easy to apply to a lot of different types of media easily. So that was my idea behind that. So, oh god, I'm not getting into the Marvel versus DC stuff. Dude, I'm not doing it. Justin says I could agree with. Oh, I missed it. Oh, I can agree with this. I ride my BMX, and some of the tricks were so scary when I started. I was so afraid to even try, but I was tried that once, messed up, but the fear was gone. Yep. At it, I don't agree with that. It's not crap, but it's very disappointing as a movie. Nope, not getting into that, guys. Nope. Nope, not getting into that. So, I would like to tell you guys a story about David Stone, if you want to hear it. It's a fun one. If you guys don't know who David Stone is, he is a French magician, wildly funny, and has put out a lot of really great content himself, but is also kind of the spokesperson for Michel Chatelain, which is a French magician creator who's created a lot of very visually striking magic. I have some of his effects here at the house. But here's the thing. He was at TAOM a couple of years ago, and I have a good friend named Lindsay who is pretty much TAOM royalty, knows everybody, knows all the magicians, grew up with a lot of big names that you've heard of. And yeah, so she knows David. It's cool. So I know her, and we're hanging out, and he's a fun guy. He's very energetic, very French, and we're at the bar, but it's kind of like BYOB, and okay. I got a bottle of wine, but no glasses. I forgot glasses. The bar doesn't have any more. There's 600 magicians at this thing, and they just don't have any more glasses. So, what am I gonna do? I really want to drink this wine. I really want to hang out with everybody. So what I do is I break out my handy dandy Swiss Army knife, corkscrew, and I open that bottle of wine, and I get a couple of straws. And I force the straws into one another to create one long straw, and I put it down into the bottle, and I just walk around like it's a 7-Eleven Slurpee or something. And I'm just like, I'm just drinking on this. It's great. And I was like, well, I don't have any other solution. What am I gonna do? So David comes into the bar, and I'm hanging out with Lindsay, and he goes, "Oh, hey, Lindsay." Comes over, talks to Lindsay, and says, "Oh, hey, Alan, how you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, David, I'm great." I'm just drinking this wine out of a straw. And he just goes, "Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing?" I think it was probably the most American thing he could think I would do was it's crazy Americans are drinking wine out of a straw. So anyway, it was great fun, and then I got to hang out with him a separate time at a lecture he did a couple weeks later. Good dude, very funny, amazing lecturer. If you've never seen him lecture, you got to go see it. It's great. I'm just trying to keep up with y'all guys. It looks like you guys have devolved into the arguing about Marvel and DC, and yeah, I don't know what Rookie is. Maybe I should know what Rookie is. Yeah, and you guys make a really good point. Yeah, you shouldn't. Yeah, whatever moves you're gonna do in your Magic, everything should you should do it that way for real, and also whenever you're doing the secret move, right? Like for me, a big one is the riffle pass, right? I riffle cards anyway. So whenever I want to do a riffle pass, it doesn't look doesn't draw any suspicion at all. It's just, well, he's been handling the cards like that the entire show. It's disguised and camouflaged in there, right? If you shuffle the cards like this every single time, but just that one time you're doing that one trick, you shuffle them like this, like, why are you shuffling them like that? Doesn't, the shuffle itself isn't suspicious. The reason that the presence of it whenever every other time you've shuffled cards overhand is suspicious. So yeah, everything you do should look exactly like you do it the rest of the time, and then you're above reproach, right? It can even be something weird, but if you do that weird thing all the time, then whenever you do that weird thing as the secret move, you're good. Cool. Love to hear about them sometime. We give you a chance. Maybe show me a Zoom meeting next week. We're talking about the Hindu force. Is that what we're talking about, guys? Because I'm missing some of this. But yeah, let's go over it. Why not? In fact, let's come down here. Boop. Maybe. Oh, the stream's not gone. It's just over here now. Okay. Yeah. Let's do the Hindu shuffle force. Okay. All right. So, let's say the card you want to force is the Seven of Hearts. Well, you just say stop anytime you want to, and boom, there's the Seven of Hearts. All you're doing is stripping the cards from the bottom. Whenever you're going to start shuffling, you grab the chunk from the bottom, you just pull off a little bit from the top there, and then you just keep shuffling, right? And to the audience's mind, what's happening is all of the cards are changing, but they don't really think about that bottom card not changing. I've seen people who have gone through and done the thing where they'll like flash a card and strip that one off, and then I don't think that's necessary. I think that's running when you're not being chased. I don't think you need to do that at all. It just feels weird. In fact, it feels like you're overproving. Like you would only do that if somebody was being suspicious of you, but since there's nothing to be suspicious of, it just comes off as weird and overproving. While we were down here in Hands View, I want to show you guys something else that I think is important. I see a lot of people when they do a force. What they'll do is, like, let's say they want to force the top card, they'll do this kind of thing. I hate that. I hate that so much. And can I tell you why I hate that? Because I see a lot of people do that. If you're gonna do that, do it like this, okay? I do not like this strip out force here because it's awkward. Who does that? Who moves their hands like that? Who goes, okay, yeah, go ahead and say stop wherever you want. It's weird. It's weird. And you can always get a flash or a little click of noise whenever you're retaining the card. It sucks. It's terrible. Nobody do it. Here's a better way. If you're trying to force the top card, okay, do this, okay, and then that, okay. If that's what you're gonna do, if you need to do it that way, do it like that. I wouldn't even recommend doing that though. I think there are better ways even still. The Goldeen force, for instance, if you need to force the card from the top of the deck, and you don't want to do any breaks, you don't want to do any riffle forces or anything like that, you want to do a Goldeen force, okay? So it looks like this. You say, hey, say stop wherever you want. Stop. Okay, great. Go ahead and take a look at the card. Bam. That's a perfectly fine way to do it. But this slide crap, it's terrible. It's terrible. Don't do it, please. It looks so amateur, and you're not fooling anybody. They're just being polite and not calling you out, okay? It doesn't look good. It's terrible, okay? With love, you know, if you do that, I love you guys, and I want you all to do well. But don't do that one. Yeah, the Goldine Force. So that, if you guys want to go over that real fast, the Goldine Force is, here's what I'm doing. I leave the card face up so it's easy to see what I'm doing. I riffle down. It's the card that you want to force is on top. I riffle down. And then wherever they call stop, you push your thumb in at that break. You roll the cards over. And you offer them the card. Done face down. Mind you, we're still trying to force that 9 of hearts. They say stop. You say, okay, great. Go ahead and take a look at that card. Boop. It's the 9 of hearts. Not a bad way to do it. You go, yeah, well, all you did is really roll over the card in your hand. Yeah, but you're looking at that like a magician. Audiences don't know, okay? They don't know. If you have to, good Lord, don't do this up towards your elbow thing, right? You would cut the cards towards the table, right? So do that. So just retain the top card with your thumb and then slide out the bottom like that if you have to do that, okay? But don't do this slide towards your elbow stuff. It just looks weird and awkward. Remember, everything you're doing should look like you're just, like, there should be no suspicion in your actions. If there's anything that looks unnatural, you're drawing suspicion to yourself. Okay, I'm done on my rant. Thank you for letting me do that. Blur. 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 There we go. Oh, no, I'm not doing this right. Webcam. No. You butt. There he goes. Okay. Sorry, I feel better now. I feel better. Thank you. The Goldine. Goldine is in Goldine is in Goldin. Kind of looks like you're saying golden, but I think I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Goldine Force. Goldine Force. The side glide force is when you spread the cards to the side and slide the bottom card under the spread and riffle down. Stop. You split the packet. Are you? Oh, maybe you're talking about this. Maybe you're talking about this. Are you talking about? Let's say we want to force the 9 of spades. Are you talking about the one where you go? Just touch a card, any card. Touch the back of it. That's the one. Remember that card. Is that the one you're talking about, Lane? Something to that effect? No. Okay. This is something else. Side glide force. I don't know what the side. I haven't heard of that. That's what it sounds like you're describing. Is this guy here where you do that? But that's a Hoffinger spread controller, a Hoffinger spread force. Holding the deck in middle grip. Okay, that's what I'm doing. And spread it to the side. Okay. It's dead air for me, but I'm just reading the comments here so I can understand what I'm supposed to be doing. So I know what you guys are talking about. I'm riffling down, I assume? Or am I riffling this way? Am I riffling with my index finger or my thumb? Okay. So I'm doing that kind of deal and then doing that. Is that? I think I'm following that. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, this is basically a kind of an unusual way to do. I mean, yeah, it works. I don't like it visually either. I mean, but you know, to each his own. If that's what you're describing. I mean, you can accomplish the same effect with something that looks a little bit more natural by just spreading the cards, though. Because this is kind of a strange way to. So you want to So you want to do that. It's okay. Okay. Well, okay. Okay. I think we got the gist of that there, so we all know what that looks like. So it's not bad, isn't it? I mean, it's interesting. It's different. I guess it has certain uses, but I mean, like, who handles cards like that? I mean, that's kind of my weird thing. Is like, who goes? I'm going to spread the cards, just so, and then you say stop what you like. I don't know. I suppose so. I suppose so. I think this is to each his own. To each his own. You're right. Context is important. So, just seeing this as it stands now is not necessarily a good representation of it in the context of an effect. An anaconda, go. What do you think I am, Nicki Minaj? Okay. All right. There you go. Anaconda. What? Okay. How's the frame rate on this? Okay. Back to the webs. Back to the webs cams. Boop. So, yeah. I love card forces. Card forces are awesome. But I almost always... The crosscut force. Actually, that ain't a bad one. That ain't a bad one at all. There's that one. There's the cut deeper force, which is pretty neat. What I like about both of those is that you have the audience do them. And that's pretty neat. Let's come back down here. I'm not done with this table view here. Okay. Okay. Let's go ahead and do this. So, for future reference, or for everybody else out there in YouTube land who doesn't know what the commenters are talking about, let's say, okay, we have a card we want to force. Okay? Say it's the Nine of Spades again. Imagine that, like, okay. Oh, what's up? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, no. The cut deeper force is pretty great. I like them. Now, the strength of these two forces is that the audience does all the stuff, which is really nice because then it feels super fair. You didn't do anything after you set the cards down. Let's say the Nine of Spades. With the cross-cut, I've also heard it called the crisscross force. But the idea is that you have them cut the deck into... cut in two, okay? You go, great, we're going to mark where you cut. So you're going to pick up the bottom half. And you're going to go, okay, we're going to mark where you cut for a second. In a moment, you're going to remember this card. You're going to need to recall it in perfect detail. So don't forget anything about it, okay? Take a look at that card. Remember, and then so now you have the Nine of Spades. Okay? So, all you're doing there, okay? Let's use the Jack of Clubs because I've got the spades in there now. So you have whatever card you want to force on top. We'll leave it face up so you can see this. And then you ask them to cut the deck into two piles. And then you put the bottom at an angle on top of the top packet. And after a few seconds of time misdirection, people will forget which half was half. But this looks like you're marking the center, right? Even though this is the top card, it looks like the cards were cut and then marked at the center. So whenever they take the card, they won't recall that was the top card a moment ago. It looks like the card in the center somewhere. So that's how that works. The cut deeper force, using the King of Clubs as an example, but I'm going to leave it face down. So you ask people to cut down about a third of the deck. About a third, okay? And turn all those cards face up. Good. Slap them back down. Cut a little bit deeper now. Flip all those over, and now you're going to discard all the face-up cards. The first face-down card you come to out, that'll be your card. Remember that card, okay? And, of course, that's the King of Clubs. It's because all you're doing is flipping the deck over, okay? Flipping it over again, so now that's the new bottom card there. That's underneath, let's say it's the 5 of clubs. So everything here, you just toss, and then that's the card. It's very simple, but it works very well, and you get the audiences to do all of it, which looks super fair. How do you do the waterfall shuffle? I can't really sit into air pockets individually. Oh, this guy right here? Yeah, let's go into that. Why not? Okay. I think this is something I've taught on my channel at some point in the past, but I don't recall when that was. It might be a pretty old video. So I feel like I'm using an electric deck. I love that. It's kind of like if you guys know of the amazing Jonathan, where he goes, "Yeah, an ordinary deck, right? Ordinary deck. Can an ordinary deck do this?" And then he like swings them around his head. Yes, it is an ordinary deck because I'm actually losing ordinary cards on the floor. But here's the idea behind the waterfall. Okay? I get a very deep grip in my hands. I mean, I'm like really deep there and there. And I get little air gaps in between each. And then I'm just going to open my hand like this. That's all I'm doing. So it's there. And I release tension. And I release tension from the outside in. Okay? From the fingertips towards the palm. Right? Like that. That's what I'm doing. You can start small, like that. And then you start adding some distance. And playing with how fast or how slow you drop them. Okay? And that's what you do. Poof. Now, yeah, let's switch over to the A camera because I'll show you guys this because you can get some sweet distance on these things. Okay. Woo! All right. Oh, I got a face-up card in there. Okay. So, see, my right hand really isn't going up that much. My left hand is going down. Okay? Because I want to maintain control over the cards. If I start going up like this, then I'm changing the trajectory of the cards as they're falling. And that's a good way to not be able to anticipate catching the cards. So what really happens is, notice my left hand drops. And then I'm able to maintain more control over the cards. I think the way that, people think about doing it is going up like that. But I found doing that creates a lot more chaos in the system. So yeah. The Anaconda, yeah, I mean, I played around with it. I don't really, for me, this doesn't really, there's no actual thing besides it looking pretty. I don't know. I tend to prefer, actually, I'm one of the weird guys who doesn't spring his cards from the corners either. I know a lot of guys who spring their cards from the corners to get this kind of a look. But I do a full-on, middle grip. But I like a much louder and dramatic, explosive spring. So, anyway, let me clean up my mess and talk amongst yourselves. And the Holy Roman Empire was neither holy nor Roman nor an empire. Discuss. Yeah. But, yeah, here's the thing, guys, is all this stuff shouldn't come before you can do a couple of card tricks, though. I know, it's like, if you want to just do these fancy moves, just be a cardist. You don't have to talk to anybody, you don't have to worry about nerves. You can just record these things and put them on Instagram and blow up that way. You don't have to worry about anything else. If you just want to learn fancy, flourishy stuff, be a cardist. I'm back. But I'll give you a few moments to speak amongst yourselves. No, I'm still here. I'm still here. So Amos is asking about what is the grip to get the pockets, because I always end up with a small block that has no pockets. Well, that's a good question. What you're really trying to do is, all the cards are together, okay? And then watch my hand. See how wide my hand is open right now? Okay. And this actually takes quite a bit of hand strength to do that. Okay, this is not easy. Even after me doing this a million years, it does create a lot of crushing strength. You have to have a pretty strong thumb. You'll feel that in your forearm and your thumb a lot whenever you're doing that. The idea, though, is that when you actually execute the move, you're not holding that position very long. But open up as wide as you can, and then close your hands like a vice around it so you get that kind of spread there. And you really need that air gap. Without that air gap, you are not going to get a waterfall to happen. Woo! Guys, we're already an hour in. I can't believe this. Justin, he's got it. Woohoo! Right on. So this has been your Trick Doctor here tonight. I've been happy to help you guys out with whatever I can. Yeah, new decks work better too. Sticky decks can be problematic if cards are sticking to one another. You're gonna have a hard time getting a nice consistent spread. So I think I've pretty much covered everything I wanted to talk about. I do want to leave with this, because we're just about at our time. We're about 11 o'clock. Here's what I want to leave with. I'd like to leave with a little update on the Restaurant Magic lecture, because I still want to do that. I haven't forgotten about it. I had to put it on the back burner for a number of reasons, both financial and others. But I'm still working out on the background. I'm still putting all of that stuff together. Still creating a little, lecture notes to go with it or whatever. A little booklet, little pamphlet. But I still need you guys, if you're at all interested in the topic of performing in restaurants, I really do need your questions. I need to know what I'm missing, because for me, sitting where I'm at, everything is so obvious, right? I've been doing restaurants for over 10 years, and I forget what questions I had when I started. It all just seems like I've known it forever. So if you guys have any questions about Restaurant Magic, no matter how silly or how complicated or whatever, I really need those questions. I really need those. And not in this stream, because this is not easy to access later in reference. Please go over to the Facebook page. There, my wonderful Streamlabs guy posted that not that long ago. Join the Facebook community, facebook.com/The Magic Minute Official. And please leave me your questions. Either message me in my inbox or leave a question on the main page. And send me all of the questions you could possibly have about performing in restaurants or getting restaurants or anything to do with Restaurant Magic as a magician. So I really need that. I really need that from you so I can answer the questions that people have. Yes. Justin says my biggest question would be the legal stuff to get paid and such. Okay. Yeah. Please leave me questions about it. Guys, thank you all very much. I have the best admins in the whole world. You guys are the best moderators. Justin, thank you guys. You're the best as always. You keep this thing flowing. You make it look good. You help me out a lot. I don't know where I'd be without you guys. Please stay tuned also. Let me leave with this too. I've been getting some questions about some upcoming Magic Minute videos and stuff people want to see. Leave me those questions too. I love your requests, because that helps me. It honestly allows me to turn my brain off for a little while, answer stuff that you guys want to hear, and not have me guessing what you guys want to see. So I have something planned for this Thursday. It's pretty silly, but what the heck? Why not? And yeah, I think we're gonna do it this Thursday, and it's gonna be fun. But anyway, stay tuned for it because it's gonna be a goofy one, and it's gonna be in response to a comment that I got. Leave those questions, leave those comments, and remember too that at 4,000 subscribers, which we're getting really, really close to, I'm going to be giving away finally that mega package that Don and so many others have contributed to get us this big giveaway, and that's going to happen coming up really soon. So with that, I will bid you guys adieu and good night. Thank you so much for being here. It is fabulous to hang out with you as always. Each of